Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that America suddenly decided billionaires are heroes. Sounds impossible. For years, billionaires have become symbols of greed, inequality, and broken promises. Poll after poll shows growing distrust toward the ultra-rich. Their private jets become scandals. Their mansions become evidence. Their fortunes become accusations. And yet, one of the richest people in entertainment is adored by millions. She's a billionaire. She owns multiple homes, travels on private jets, built an empire worth over $1 billion. People criticize billionaires, then spend hundreds of dollars just to watch Taylor Swift perform for 3 hours. Why? Is this hypocrisy? Or does Taylor Swift expose something far stranger about the human mind? Because once you understand the answer, you won't look at wealth the same way again. For centuries, wealth wasn't just admired, it was feared. Modern billionaires often represent something people can't control. They become living reminders that the economic system doesn't reward everyone equally. When people see executives making billions while workers struggle to pay rent, the money becomes symbolic. It's no longer about dollars, it's about power. Power that seems unreachable, power that appears inherited, power that feels detached from ordinary life. But then something strange happened. One billionaire somehow escaped this mental category almost entirely, and that changes everything. Taylor Swift didn't simply become rich, she became a story. That's an important difference. Most billionaires are introduced through numbers, net worth, stock prices, acquisitions, layoffs. Taylor entered people's lives differently. Albums, heartbreak, growing up, failure, reinvention. Fans didn't first meet her as a billionaire. They met her as a teenager, writing songs about rejection. Psychologists call this narrative identity. People don't emotionally connect to success. They connect to journeys. By the time Taylor officially became a billionaire, millions had already placed themselves inside her story. In their minds, she didn't become rich. She earned every chapter. But that isn't the whole explanation, not even close. Humans don't actually hate wealth. They hate unfairness. That's why someone can inherit billions and instantly become controversial, while someone who appears to build wealth step by step receives admiration. Whether that perception is completely accurate is almost beside the point, because perception shapes emotion more than reality. Taylor's career has been publicly documented for nearly 2 decades. Fans watched the concerts, the songwriting, the public criticism, the reinventions, the business battles, especially the fight over ownership of her master recordings, which she responded to by re-recording her early albums. That transformed her wealth into something larger than money. It became a symbol of reclaiming control. Suddenly, buying an album wasn't supporting a billionaire. It felt like supporting someone fighting back. And this is where psychology quietly takes over. Millions of people feel like they know Taylor Swift, but almost none of them actually do. Psychologists call this a parasocial relationship, a one-sided emotional bond with a public figure. It's surprisingly powerful. Her lyrics often sound like diary entries. Her interviews feel personal. Fans decode hidden messages. They celebrate birthdays. They defend her online. Eventually, the celebrity stops feeling like a stranger. She starts feeling like a friend, and people forgive friends differently than they forgive corporations. But here's the uncomfortable part. The brain often reacts to perceived relationships almost as strongly as real ones, which means the emotional bond can become stronger than objective facts. Every story needs conflict. Taylor Swift's career has rarely been presented as effortless dominance. Instead, there was always someone bigger, someone criticizing her, someone doubting her, someone taking credit, someone owning her music. Whether the conflict involved media narratives, industry disputes, or public criticism, the pattern remained familiar. Humans instinctively root for people facing obstacles. even after those people become extraordinarily successful. Oddly enough, victory doesn't erase the memory of struggle. It amplifies it. That's why many fans still emotionally process Taylor as an underdog, even though she's one of the wealthiest musicians on Earth. The human brain is remarkably slow at updating emotional categories, and that delay changes everything. Most billionaires sell products. Taylor Swift sells identity. There's a difference. A phone solves a problem. A concert creates a memory. A song becomes attached to first loves, breakups, graduations, road trips, funerals. Years later, people don't remember buying music. They remember who they were when they heard it. That emotional attachment creates something economists struggle to measure: meaning. And humans consistently value meaning more than money, which explains something fascinating. When fans spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on tickets, many don't feel exploited. They feel grateful, not because the prices are low, but because they believe the experience is worth the sacrifice. But none of this means criticism disappears. Taylor Swift has faced scrutiny over issues like private jet usage, business decisions, and the commercialization surrounding her brand. Some people argue that she receives more grace than other billionaires. Others disagree. Both views can be true, depending on which values people prioritize. Because humans rarely judge wealth alone. We judge stories, intentions, identity, emotion. The billionaire label doesn't automatically trigger admiration or resentment. It passes through an invisible psychological filter first. And that filter isn't logical, it's deeply human. Here's the twist almost nobody talks about. This isn't really about Taylor Swift. It's about us. Every day, we divide the world into heroes and villains, not based only on facts, but on narratives. The brain desperately wants coherent stories. It wants someone to blame, someone to admire, someone to become. Once a person enters one category, every future action gets interpreted through that lens. The billionaire who lays off workers becomes proof of greed. The billionaire who writes songs becomes proof of authenticity, even when both possess extraordinary wealth. This isn't rational, it's psychological, and perhaps unavoidable. So why do many Americans criticize billionaires, yet celebrate Taylor Swift? Because money alone has never determined how humans assign moral value. Stories do. Identity does. Emotion does. We don't simply measure success, we narrate it. And maybe that's the most unsettling realization of all. Because somewhere in your own life, you've probably done the same thing. You've forgiven one person for what you condemned in another. Not because the facts were different, but because the story was. The richest people don't just compete for money, they compete for meaning. And the ones who win that battle rarely look like villains, even when they have everything the villains have. Because in the end, the most valuable fortune in the world isn't measured in billions. It's measured in belief. And once people believe your story, they'll stop counting your money.